Hello, Lisa.
Hi, Hemant. There you are.
Yes, thank you. Can you make me a host?
Yeah, hold on just a second. Linda's here to help us out.
Okay.
Your background looks great, Hemant.
Thank you. It's my little room with office and some nice pictures in front of me with Buddha and all that.
Oh, very nice, very nice.
Pictures, yeah.
And is that a duck in the background there also, over your right shoulder?
Over my right shoulder,
Yeah.
that is a person sitting in meditation. It's a bookend. This one is a picture of Kensho Rinpoche. There's a picture in the bottom that my grandson drew for me.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
And these are all my just books, and I have a whole bunch of books around the side. So can I share my screen? Let's see.
Yes, go ahead.
1 second, let me do a presentation first. Oops. And then if I share, so screens, hold on for a second, I can't see anything. What do I do here? Hold on. One second. I'm glad we did this because there you go. Oh, there we go. Let's see. And let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, we can.
Good.
Is it on his end? Can he?
Your screen says Lisa and Linda. So both of them, you both sharing it?
We're here. We're both here tonight. Linda's here to help us get started.
Okay, great.
I'm
How are
here.
you? Good,
good.
Linda. Hi, Rainey. Hi, Jenny. Hi, Ian.
Hey, Matt, for some reason, when you've shared your screen with your PowerPoint, the PowerPoint itself is small. Like It's much smaller than it normally is. Normally, it would take up the whole screen.
Oh, wow. Hold on.
I don't know what's, so when we have it pulled up on the projector screen, it's very small.
Very small. So I don't know. Let's see what I can do. Let me get out in 1 second.
Okay.
Oops. And PowerPoint references, everything is good.
Do you know, Chris?
Yeah, I did this. Let me see this. This is the.
Oh, maybe, before you hit that, there was a little.
This thing taking up a lot of the screen.
Yeah, no, I changed that. If you go back out,
Yeah.
and then do you see that little slide thing to the right of what you did click on? And it's at 80-something%.
Yeah.
Slide it to 100 and see if that makes a difference.
Take this.
You can use the little dot. Yeah, there you go.
110. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, okay, and now you can share it using that little icon down at the bottom. Yeah, that's it. No, it didn't do anything. That's so weird. I wonder why.
Let me see. And just trying it. Just let me know if what it does. Let me do this and see if it does this.
Wait. See where you were all the way to the corner, the bottom right corner?
Yeah.
Where there's 4 little arrows? Try clicking on that. Now try to share it.
Okay, 1 second. Let's do presentation first.
It's still not working. Huh, I don't know why it's so small.
We'll find out. 1 second. Give me 1 second. I'll figure it out.
Okay.
That little view thing, who's talking, it's got him in his picture, that's taking up part of the screen.
No, put it as small as it would go.
Let me see now. Still not doing it? It's not doing it still, right?
What's that, Hemant?
Can you still see it small? It's still small?
Yes, it is still small.
Oh, boy.
So weird. It's okay. I mean, we can see it. It's just small. People might have to just move forward.
All right, we'll have to, after the class, maybe we can figure it out. I can figure it out. It's pretty large on my screen, so it's kind of interesting. Okay, it is what it is. It's never had a problem like this, so I'm trying to figure out what it.
It's a little bit better now. Chris had us put it in view and the standard mode, so it's a little bigger. I think we're fine. It's fine.
All right. So, shall we begin? Yeah.
Whenever you're ready. Welcome,
All right.
everyone.
All right. So anyways, good evening, everyone. This is the 4th module, the spiritual teacher, and this is session 1. And of course, welcome. But before we get going, I suggest that we at least do a prostration, 3 prostrations. If you are able to do it, this is an optional part, but if you're sitting on a chair and you can't do it, you can do it mentally. Okay, and this is just a slide that gives you an idea of how we can do four places. So just let's do a prostration. And just a quick note, the reason for the prostrations, we are not bowing down to somebody, is simply humbling oneself and to develop good qualities and admiration. It is obviously optional. And for me personally, you might have completed the first 3 modules presenting the path. You may have some understanding of karma. You just need to realize, based on your karma, how fortunate you are, and we are, that we have Kadampa centers. We have Geshe-la here, and we have a Kadampa center in Raleigh in South United States, and we have qualified lineage teachers. And so just for that feeling itself, it makes me feel very humble. And I prostrate to that so that I welcome that teachings to me and better my continuum. Okay, so that's the reason we prostrate. We are basically asking Buddha, I need those qualities. Please give it to me. Okay, that's what you're prostrating to. Okay, so we're gonna, before we hit the button, or Linda hits the button for the video, this is just a quick overview of the course. It has some motivation, but we will repeat some of those things in a little more detail today. Okay, it's about 26 minutes, so relax, enjoy, and absorb this, okay?
Okay, Hemant, you'll need to stop sharing so that I can share the video here.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Lisa, this rainy week, we can hear everything okay.
Okay, thank you, good.
Lisa, this rainy week, we can hear everything okay.
Okay, thank you, good.
Lisa, this rainy week, we can hear.
Hang on one second. We need to mute YouTube. Sorry about that.
Sounds coming through loud and clear.
If you want to learn anything well, you look for a teacher who has mastered the subject you want to learn. Why should you think differently when it comes to your spiritual life? To find a way out of suffering, you must find a guide who has already found the way out and can show you how to do it yourself. To find a spiritual teacher is the most fundamental aspect of the Buddhist path. It is not possible to learn to be enlightened from books alone. You need a living teacher to personally guide you. Tsongkhapa attained enlightenment, and because of his great compassion, gave teachings on the graduated path to enlightenment, so others could be free. He taught the first step on the path is to devote yourself to a teacher who can properly guide you. In this program, we will learn how to recognize a perfectly qualified teacher and how rare it is to be able to take them as your guide.
In the Mahayana Buddhist teachings, it is said that the spiritual mentor is the key to the path, a guide to the perfect and ultimate state of enlightenment. Therefore, one's motivation, both in seeking a spiritual teacher as well as in cultivating and developing a relationship with one, is of fundamental importance. In this program, we will explore together the importance of the spiritual teacher to achieving ultimate success on the spiritual path. Therefore, as you listen to these teachings, generate in your mind a particularly strong altruistic motivation, seeking to attain enlightenment as quickly as possible in order to bring to enlightenment all other living beings.
In the context of engaging in a spiritual transformation, bringing about a change within one's hearts and minds, at the initial stage, we do need to rely upon experienced teacher who can show us the path, who can introduce us to the subject matter. Since the role of spiritual teacher in one's practice becomes so important, we find that in Lama Tsongkhapa's great expositions of the stages of the path, he discusses the issue of reliance on spiritual teacher. The qualifications that are necessary on the part of the teachers are presented in Maitriya's Mahayana Sutra Alamkara, the ornament of Mahayana Sutras, where he lists 10 principal qualities or qualifications of a spiritual teacher. The first is someone with a disciplined mind. This refers to the quality of having an ethical discipline. Second is having a calmed mind, which refers to the quality of having mastered the higher training in meditation and concentration. And the third is being thoroughly calmed, which refers to the quality of having mastered the higher training in wisdom, here particularly referring to the wisdom of no self, anatma. And then number 4 is that having the knowledge and the experience of the 3 higher trainings alone is not adequate. You need to have a knowledge that exceeds the knowledge of the students. Whatever subject matter that is being taught, the teacher must have a knowledge that exceeds the level of the student's knowledge. So this is the 4th quality. The 5th is that the teacher must have a vigor and enthusiasm for teaching the student. And so this is the 5th one, that's enthusiasm. Number 6 is that the teacher must have a vast learning so that he or she will have the resources from where the teacher will be able to draw the metaphors, the examples, the citations, and all of this. So vast learning is this number 6. Number 7 is who has a realization of emptiness. If possible, the genuine realization of emptiness, if not at least having a deep commitment to the practice of compassion, practice of emptiness on the basis of having a deep admiration to the teachings of emptiness. And then number 8 is that the teacher must be eloquent and skillful in his or her means of presenting the Dharma. Having knowledge and experience alone is not adequate. If the teacher is not skillful in presenting the Dharma, then the Dharma teaching would not be effective. So number 8 is eloquent speech. Number 9 is probably the most important quality here, having a deep compassion towards the student to whom the teaching is being given. Someone who has a genuine sort of a concern for the well-being of the student. So this compassionate mind is number 9. And number 10 is that the teacher should have the ability of resilience, so that no matter how many times the teacher has to repeat in his or her teaching, he or she should have the resilience to continue to maintain his or her enthusiasm, commitment to the student, so that he or she is not discouraged or sort of, becomes kind of loses enthusiasm. So these are the 10 qualities recommended in Maitriya's text. And then Tsongkhapa concludes that section by making an emphasis that those practitioners who wish to seek a spiritual teacher should familiarize themselves with these qualifications of the spiritual master, and then search for these qualities in the person in whom you wish to entrust.
Such a thought may come into your mind, well, do I really need to rely on a qualified guru in order to travel the path? There are so many books, they're being translated around. I can just take those books and study those books, and on the basis of that I will be able to travel the path and achieve realization. This is a wrong conception. It's a mistaken conception. Why? Because those teachings are alive. The teachings are alive. They need to be alive in order to have the strength of generating the realization in the mind of the one who practices it. That's why we have an uninterrupted lineage, which comes from Buddha Shakyamuni down to your root guru, which the teachings have been practiced, have been received, practiced, and passed to the next guru, up to your root guru. So that is the meaning of possessing the blessing of the lineage. That is what makes it work in your mind. Just the book itself, it won't do it. First you have to receive it from an alive guru. Whether the Lama possesses all the qualities or not, at least he possesses the qualities of having the blessing of the lineage, having received the blessing of the lineage, and the qualities of being capable of passing through that particular lineage blessing. That is what makes it. So now thinking this way, because I want to achieve the supreme enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings, I need a guru. I need someone who is able to show me the path, how to travel to this path in order to achieve the purpose that I have in my mind. So if I need, even for worldly matters, for worldly education, someone who's on the top of that particular knowledge, who's able to show me how to get that particular knowledge, that much more I need a qualified guru who's able to show me the path to enlightenment. And not only I need a guru, I need a guru who's qualified, perfectly qualified, and I need to rely on this perfectly qualified guru in the correct way, without reversing my devotion or without abandoning that reliance, because that very reliance is the root of all the goodness that I'm seeking for.
There are many paths to enlightenment. The most profound one, the fastest one, the quickest one, the swiftest one is devotion to spiritual guide. By correctly devoting to spiritual guide, you can get enlightened in one lifetime. It is so powerful. I mean, first you say, what is a guru? So Rinpoche explained, guru is someone who's heavy in qualities, nothing higher. So then why do we need a guru? And I kind of more or less said that. It's the root of the path. What are the reasons for this? If you want to learn any kind of a skill, you need a teacher. And even a worldly skill, you need a teacher. So definitely the path to enlightenment, where we've never been before, where it's unknown to us. In Lama Tsongkhapa's Lamrim Chenmo, there's a quote from one of the Kadampa Geshes that says, you know, here we are, we've just emerged from aeons spent in the lower realms, and we want to get enlightened, we want to travel the path. I mean, definitely we need a guide. Definitely we need a guide. So whether or not you get the realizations, you know, how deeply you get those realizations, how stably you get those realizations, and in fact it's explaining the teachings, not just the realizations, but they say whether or not your life becomes success or not, it depends on the strength of your devotion to spiritual guide. So it becomes a big thing. So this is the first thing that we have to become convinced of, that we definitely need a qualified teacher in order to travel the path to enlightenment. Okay? Even if we were going to go to India, we would need a guide. We need it because the goal is not just intellectual, it's to transform the mind. I think that's fine, that's clear. So you need a guru who can teach the whole path, right? You need a guru, you need a perfectly qualified guru who can teach you the whole path, and you need to devote yourself correctly. And it's kind of like that. You have some hardship to get your guru, and you really check. Once you've got them, you know, you're going to be completely, okay, this one I'm going to devote, and I'm going to devote really well. Now, what are the benefits of correctly devoting? So now we come to these 8 benefits. And the point is that if you think about these benefits, then this amazing energy is going to come, and your practice is going to burst out, because you want to do nothing but devote yourself. You really want to devote yourself to your guru, and you want to do it in a very good way.
When I first heard about guru devotion, I wasn't very attracted to it. I thought it sounded a bit cult-like. And also I was used to having one God that was above everything else, and to think that a person with godlike qualities could be in a human form, a guru in a human form. You know, I just only kind of thought of cults, and maybe I'd find a wrong guru that would lead me down a wrong track. But then as I was involved with Buddhism, with Tibetan Buddhism, and I started seeing the Lama's qualities, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, Lama Zopa Rinpoche, and at first you're not sure, and you find some qualities, and then you have to open your heart, and then you start to feel some devotion. And then through this devotion you see how Guru devotion, the teaching says, the root of the path, and you need teachers to guide you and to inspire you and to protect you. And the way they protect you is not some kind of magical powers necessarily, although there is this blessing power that does come with devotion, but it's more like they protect you by teaching you the Dharma, and therefore through your own actions you learn to train your mind, which protects your mind. Then you start thinking, I want to react less with anger, and I want to practice patience. And you get inspired through their example, and you get guidance through, they will tell you if you request, and and then if you have the karma to receive advice, and hopefully if you practice Dharma, and eventually you create the good fortune to be able to receive direct advice on an individual basis from your teacher. And because our gurus have more wisdom than we do, they can see more appropriately the best practice for us to help us, because their only aim is to want to help us, lead us to enlightenment. So their advice is always with this wanting to lead us to enlightenment, and how to do this in the most effective way. So we can follow their advice with great assurance that it is coming from the most pure place. And therefore, if we follow their advice purely, we are going to progress towards enlightenment.
I left school and home when I was 15. Took quite a lot of drugs after I left home, and I was partying all the time, and I was pretty much almost, I didn't live on the streets, but I was just hanging out on the streets for about a year. And I met Rinpoche for the first time. So this is probably the sweet part of my life. It was just like, there is no question in my life, and that the only thing that I want to do is offer my life to Rinpoche. And it was very, very, very strong. You just watch Rinpoche, and you just watch Rinpoche for every single act he does is an act is so perfect, and you just want to be like that. You just know that this is what you want to do. And I just knew 100% if I offered myself to this being, that he would direct me in a way that would be useful, because I can't figure it out myself. Or because I have so many past imprints that's making me, continually making me think, continually making me believe that samsara is going to bring me happiness, and that it's going to work if I, fall in love again. This time it's going to work, it's going to give me happiness, or whatever. I just 100% trusted that Rinpoche could definitely direct my life and guide me and show me how to do it. Especially looking at Rinpoche as the Guru, as the Yidam, as the Buddha, then definitely, there's nothing higher than that. We don't have anything higher than that, and there's nothing more precious to do. And it's not like, okay, once you have a relationship with the Guru, then it's really easy after that. In fact, it's even more difficult, because Rinpoche ultimately he confronts your ego. So that is a really painful experience, very, very painful, because it's the one thing that we protect very well. So I'm still trying to deal with that, and I'm amazed at how Rinpoche cuts my ego down. Every time I'm in front of him, every time, he very subtly, very individually, he's basically taming my mind, and it's very precious. Just to see Rinpoche, especially now I've been able to serve Rinpoche quite closely for like nearly 3 years, and there's, it just is reconfirmed in my life that, it's unbelievable, perfect. Rinpoche's actions are amazing. Everything he does comes from bodhicitta. He's always trying to help people. I just pray that I can keep being able to serve Rinpoche and doing this, because it feels really good.
His Holiness is, one of his names is the presence, Kundan, so that there's something you can experience that makes you believe that it's possible, because you see examples of persons. So by meeting Lama Yeshe and Lama Zopa Rinpoche and Geshe Dargi and His Holiness Dalai Lama and other teachers, they're human beings. And they're saying, this is how, Lord Buddha said, this is how it is. I practiced it. I think this is how it is. If you practice it, it can be that way for you. So even if they all deny they have any realization or any power of mind, anything, they'll say, oh, I'm not special. As long as I'm just a simple monk. But if you spend any time with him, any time near him, there's an effect he has on your mind that isn't just based on his intellectual understanding of Buddhism. There's an effect you can experience by being near a realized teacher that affects your own mind. So now we we can imagine maybe a being like His Holiness the Dalai Lama or Lama Yeshe, Lama Zopa, Geshe Dargi, who actually removed all the afflictions. The mind has these qualities of love, compassion, wisdom. So that can have a profound effect on your mind just by being near them. So for me, that's what gave me besides my own little experiments with meditation and practice and seeing what effect I could have in my mind, being near people who obviously to me, even though they deny it, have done it, So they've done it. So if they've done it, they're human beings. I'm a human being. I did this practice. Lord Buddha said, you're a human being, you can do this practice, and you can remove the afflictions. So that's what I think, having had the good fortune to be near those beings, at the same time try to put it into some small way to practice. So the combination of those two experiences, so for me there's no doubt, spending some time with Lama Yeshe and Lama Zopa Rinpoche, being near His Holiness. I mean, His Holiness is just amazing. I saw this film, I think in Los Angeles. He was going to meet the press corps, the hardened reporters who think everything is, basically bad, I think, anyway. So just as he went down the line touching them, they sort of lit up like light bulbs. Just as he passed, everyone became momentarily happy that their cares went away. They were smiling, and maybe 30 seconds later, it was gone, or 10 minutes later, it was gone. But it has an effect. So then so I think the idea of the blessings of the Lama, the blessings of the Guru, the blessings of the Buddha, it doesn't have to be so mystical. You put the big magnet next to the small magnet, so the polarities come the same for a little bit till the big magnet moves away, So you see some possibility, the blessings of the Guru, the blessings of the teacher. And within Buddhism, I think, so that's the key, You can have a qualified teacher, and then follow a authentic, qualified teaching. And then you make the experiment yourself, and if it works, you do it more. If it doesn't work, do something else.
Okay, Hemant, you're back on.
Yep. Okay, that's an amazing video. You know, it amazing. It's so hypnotizing. Just the music and to see the teachers and to see Lama Zopa Rinpoche and His Holiness itself is definitely an effect on you. Beautiful video. Thank you for sharing that video with us. So plan for today, time permitting, we'll do a quick calm abiding meditation, set up our motivation. We'll talk about introducing to the subject matter of spiritual teacher. We'll quickly take a look at required readings. Then we'll look into why we need a spiritual teacher, how to find a spiritual teacher. You already saw the 10 qualities of a Mahayana spiritual teacher. Maybe we'll go over it if time permits us. And then we'll do a quick meditation, okay? And then time permitting, we'll look at the next session review. Make sense? So let's get into a position to do a quick meditation and set our motivation, okay? So you want to have your back straight. If you're sitting in a chair, just make sure your back is straight. Depending on if you're sitting down or on the chair, if you're on the chair, keep your feet on the floor flat. If you're sitting down, full Vajra position or half a Vajra position, legs folded. Your arms are relaxed, loosely on your lap. And they're resting about 2 or 3 inches below your navel. And right hand is over your left hand, and the thumbs are touching each other. Your head is slightly tilted. Okay? And your jaw and mouth are relaxed. Teeth slightly apart with lips lightly touching each other. Your tongue rests on the upper palate of your mouth, and your eyes are either shut or slightly open. And just relax and scan your body. See if you have any tension. And what we are going to do is simply focus on breath. There are 2 reasons for this meditation. First of all, it removes some thoughts that you've been carrying all day from work or your busy life. It brings your attention here. It calms you down. Number 2, it teaches us how to concentrate. So what we're going to do is concentrate on your breath. And as you breathe in and out, naturally, do not force it, just naturally, just pay attention to your breath, the exhale and the inhale. Okay, you might even feel a little tingling sensation by your nostrils. And that's simply just to keep your focus there. And now what happens is when you're doing that, your mind may start to wander. Okay, when that happens, simply look at that thought. Don't fall into it, don't follow it, and come back to your breath again. Do it again and again till your mind is strictly focused on breath. Let's do that for about a minute. Your mind starts to wander, gently bring it back to the breath. So now with your mind a bit calmer, clearer, first think about why you are here. Examine your basic motivation for being here. And on that basis, develop a strong motivation of bodhicitta. Bodhi means awakening or awakened, and Chitta means mind. So bodhicitta means a mind that is aimed at awakening through wisdom and loving compassion for the benefit of all sentient beings. And remembering other sentient beings and their suffering, how all other sentient beings simply want happiness and wish to avoid suffering just like us. How kind they have been to us in this life and in all of our previous lives. It's not enough to work just for our own happiness or peace of mind. It's not even enough to work simply for our own temporal or earthly life, happiness of this life, or even for our own happiness in future lives. What will make our life truly meaningful is to work for happiness, the best and the highest and most everlasting happiness of all sentient beings. And the best way to do this, to be able to bring about their happiness, is to reach enlightenment. And in order to do this, it is important for us to understand how to achieve enlightenment and how to overcome our limitations, how to develop all the wonderful qualities that we all have within us. And to accomplish this, we need the Dharma teachings, and we need a Dharma teacher. So here, we are here to learn and study Dharma, the means and method by which we may quickly attain enlightenment for the benefit of all. So especially the intricacies of the guru-disciple relationship, so we might benefit from such a relationship in the best way possible. So let's generate a positive motivation for our time together today. Think to yourself that you are not doing this just for yourself alone, just for your own needs, but instead you're engaging in this meditation practice in order to develop your mind, to become a better, wiser, compassionate individual, and one able to bring happiness and well-being into lives of others. Okay, thank you. So let's start the class by talking about the word guru devotion. Okay? If you really think about it, it's a shorter way of saying properly relying on a spiritual mentor. When you say those wrong words, they're a little dry and they don't get you there. So sometimes we'll use the word guru devotion. However, as soon as we use the word guru and devotion, as you heard in the video, it brings up some negative thoughts. Okay, so it carries a little baggage with us. If you think about Jonestown and Mansion family and those, what was that, Unification Church and Heaven's Gate and all of those things, okay? We think we are losing some control. In West, we especially feel I don't need to follow somebody. That's what comes to your mind. So it's within the Tibetan tradition, guru devotion means something completely different from this cult behavior or these misunderstandings that we have, or misconceptions is the right word. So here we think about what Buddha said. Buddha said, it's useful to remember the 4 reliances. First, rely on the message of the teacher, not on his personality, and we'll touch on this. Then second, rely on the meaning, not just on the words. Rely on the real meaning, not on the provisional one. And rely on the wisdom mind, not your ordinary judgmental mind. Right? So think about that. Rely on the message of a teacher, not his personality. You can see somebody from an illustrious family and very trendy, and we want to kind of rush there, shopping around. Oh, he looks like an interesting guy, and we go there. Or you might see a simple guy in a simple robes sitting there, and we may think, I don't know, we'll see, right? Our mind does that. So it's very important that you're looking, what you're really looking at, you can judge how qualified and a reliable teacher is by looking at the quality of the effectiveness of his or her instructions, degree of insight, and realizations and lineage connections. That gives you a little idea. That's the first point. Okay? And there have been many worthy teachers, and sometimes people kind of make a judgment based on looks, and they miss out on the quality of the teachings. Okay? Second one, rely on the meaning, not just the words. Again, to make it simple, words are simply words. We may have a certain meaning of a word in our own mind, and it may not be the meaning that the teacher is trying to basically say. So you need to understand what teacher is trying to say. And this really brings to the third reliance. Rely on the real meaning and not on the provisional one. Okay? It's not the temporary word. I'll give you a good example. Okay? If I say the word rainbow, immediately an image comes to your mind, correct? You can think about a rainbow. So conventionally speaking, we all know what a rainbow looks like in the sky. However, if a teacher is good and has realized wisdom, he's going to give you a deeper meaning. He's going to say a rainbow does not exist from its own side. Why? Think about it, the causes and conditions. You have to have a sun that requires another cause and a condition. You need water, like a rain, that comes from different causes and conditions. And it's a light that passes through with refraction that causes this appearance. We label it a rainbow. So you can see that when you are learning from a teacher, you start to understand that sometimes what appears to our mind and what the deeper meaning is. And that's important in Buddhism. And you have seen Geshe-la, for example, when you are at center, he repeats the same thing 3-4 times, and you think, why is he repeating? But I tell you, I have myself experienced, first 2 times it did not click. I'm like, okay, I've heard it before. And one time he went a little more deeper, and it's like, whoa, aha. That's what he meant, right? So it's like that. A good teacher kinds of guides you through it, and we need to make sure that we understand the real meaning, not just the temporal one or the provisional one. And the last but least, you develop your wisdom as you're going through these modules. You've set your foundation, and as you get some advanced teachings, you will develop some wisdom thinking. And so you're not using your ordinary judgmental mind when a teacher is teaching. You're going much deeper than what is being said. So these are the 4 reliances. Buddha himself said, this is way different than cult. Okay? Nobody's tying your hand. Nobody's building a wall. It's all about your own mind. Okay? A true teacher is a spokesperson of wisdom and truth, and exhibits a compassionate wisdom discipline or a display, right? So all true Buddhas and teachers and gurus are emanation of this wisdom. And they appear in countless skillful, compassionate appearances in order to guide us. And so we need to keep that in our mind. The first and most important than finding a teacher is finding and following the wisdom truth of the teachings. So you have to set some foundation for yourself. And once you make the connection with the teachings, in my own experience, it's way different than a cult behavior. And you don't have to take my word for it, explore it thoroughly. Even it said in the video, check it out. And that's the beauty of this. You check it out, you analyze it, explore, examine, and then come to your own conclusions. But for right now, for this class purposes, I would ask that you suspend your judgment and leave your preconceived notions or conclusions so that you can be open to learning something different or something new. Okay, so let's go to the next point here. So you've heard of this metaphor before, an upside down vase, a dirty vase, and a cracked vase. Okay, and we can talk about this cartoon in a second here. So it is about how to listen to and how not to listen to the teachings. Okay, upside down vase means you don't listen or your lack of attention, or the mind that is distracted. Well, Pabonka Rinpoche says in his readings, if you read his Liberation in Palm of Your Hand, it's almost like not being here. You're just showing up, but you're really not listening, right? You have other things on your mind. Number two are dirty ways. We come with preconceived notions, ideas, prejudices. We already have developed in our mind. So whatever comes in your mind, it gets contaminated, right? And number three are cracked ways. Okay, nothing sticks in. You hear it, and after the class is over, it's gone. Why? Because we don't discuss it. We don't read. We don't contemplate on what has been taught. Even with any teachers, when you get these teachings, think about it. If you read about it, and you know what? You have some friends, you have Dharma brothers and sisters, and you can talk to them. I see John here. He's got so much knowledge, for example. Sometimes just connect. When you come to the center, connect. If you have a question, talk about, hey, I heard Hemant say that. I really didn't go through my head. What was he talking about? Try to find out, and maybe we can all come together. So that's called cracked ways. Don't come with the personality like you see in the cartoon. Hey, what's the meaning of life? But make it quick. I've got an important meeting in half an hour, okay? So you gotta slow down, think through these things. So let's talk about the readings. You should have a PDF of your readings. And I suggest that you read these. The first one to read is The Kindness of the Guru. Excuse me. Then The Blessings of the Guru. Then Practicing Guru Devotion, and then Seeing Guru as a Buddha. And you can do this at your own pace. So I would say that you don't have to read everything at one shot. But for class number one, take one reading and read it. Lama Zopa Rinpoche has done a wonderful job explaining some of these things, better than I can say it. And for the books, it's required that you read Liberation in Palm of Your Hand. If you don't know, it looks like this. I might put it in front of a camera, if you can see it. And if you look at this very carefully, day number 7, in my blue book, it's page 217. And it talks about how to rely, devoting yourself to a spiritual teacher. And Pabonka Rinpoche does this in small paragraphs very nicely. You can read that. And last but least, I found this book, which is also mentioned here, Wise Teacher, Wise Student, by Alex Berzin. Excellent, excellent book. I'm about more than halfway through. Let me have some more. What I found in this book was some psychology of how Tibetans think, how Westerners think, and how we can break those walls if you really need to have a really good relationship with the teacher. Because we come from the Western mind. I'm free, I can do whatever I want, I can go to audio tapes, I can go CD. All that kind of mind is there. We have a mind that has so many thoughts going on at one time. Whereas in Tibet, very few people go to school. And they sometimes go to monastery from when they're children. So they have a different way of looking at a teacher. But how we can bring these two together and develop this relationship, it only benefits us, okay? So we'll take a look at it. So let's talk about, why we need a teacher. So simple things. From childhood, when you were a young baby, somebody taught you how to walk, how to bathe, how not to do something, how to do something. We were fortunate we went to school. A teacher taught you basic reading skills, alphabets, math. And if you were fortunate to go to higher schools, you had professors to teach you. If you think about it, there are many ways somebody has taught us something. We didn't learn everything from a book or an audio. Okay, think about that for a while. Think about how many people have helped you or taught you. in so many ways. Sometimes even some people we think are enemies can teach you a lesson. Correct. We learn what not to do, for example, right? So teachers come in various forms, and teachers have been important all of our lives. Now think about it. We think that I can read a book and I can get everything. But we also recognize that we have karmic seeds in our mind. We have karma working right now. Our minds are delusional. We have sort of hallucinated. If we were clear mind, you learn from mind and its potential. Mind is clear, mind is knowing, and it's not physical. If you were to have that clear mind, you would be in the state of Buddha. But because we have all this every moment, just think how many thoughts are going in your head. We are creating karma of body, speech, and mind all the time. So what that's why we have some delusion. So we may read a book and think you got it, and you may not have, or you may think it's a gut feeling. What we really need is a guide who's been there before. For example, when you go into the wilderness you've never been to, a guide will show you, don't go there, go this way. Matter of fact, you may even look at a Google map and kind of know where this walking trail is, but a guide will tell you, oh, I've seen a lot of people slip here. If you go here, it's better for you. So we always have a guide. So why not, when you're talking about spiritual teachings, when you're talking about complicated subject, right? For example, think about it. I might even have a slide here, maybe not. We'll go to this in a second here. Oh, sorry. So let's think about it. What is samsara? What is renunciation? What are we renunciating from? What is enlightenment? What is suffering? There are so many things that are going on in our life right now. Wouldn't it be nice if somebody can walk you through it and guide you through it, right? That's how you slowly and steadily grow in your path, right? So think about that. Teachers have been important all of our lives. So it's important that we have someone to guide us. We can develop it now or for the future. Okay, so let me look at my notes. So again, just looking at my notes here real quick. You know, it's again, it says the same things. To understand what's clarity, what's reality, what is hallucination, how can we know for sure, you know, all of those things. And we have our own judgments. So it's so important to someone to guide us. But it's not as simple as essentially just understanding that somebody to guide us. We also need to have some fundamentals that we need to have. Okay, oops, sorry. Okay, so we are ready to become a disciple. We listen to some of these classes, we listen to that, we saw that video, we get excited, we are here rushing out to go find a teacher. It's not that simple. We also need to have some foundation. And some very, very basic foundation you need to have is understanding the nature, the recognition of one's own suffering. Okay, you need to understand that. If you look at the Four Noble Truths, for example, the very first one is that there is dukkha, there is suffering. Second says the causes for suffering. So we need to have some understanding of that. Okay, we want to renunciate from this suffering. Okay, it's not talking about going into a cave and leaving everything. Okay, nobody's saying that. But you need to have some eagerness to become enlightened, to become a Buddha, to recognize your true self. Okay, so you need some eagerness. You look at how excited we get if we are going to buy a house or a car or getting a job. We learn about it, we talk about it, we find out about it. It's so important, right? Here's the spiritual teaching. We're talking about ultimate happiness, lasting happiness, enlightenment, right? So we need to have some foundation ourselves. You know, we need to understand the knowledge of how to practice and what to avoid. You will learn about karma, or you might have already learned about karma. Then the virtuous actions and non-virtuous actions of body, speech, and mind. Somebody's got to walk you through to say what to avoid and what to follow. Okay? And the beginnings of a bodhicitta, understanding that everything is connected, everything. We are not simply alone walking around. Okay? We've had connections with so many people. They have been so helpful to us. So a basic feeling that when you become a Buddha, you want to benefit others. Right? So that's an important piece to understand. Okay? So now we need to understand the meaning of the guru before we go into this, and then we'll talk about the 10 qualities of the teacher. So the meaning of the guru, when we hear the word guru, in Sanskrit, it means heavy and weighty, with a lot of weight, not physical knowledge. A guru is someone who's weighty in the sense of having substantial presence and having charisma. Etymologically, the word guru the first word gu comes from a Sanskrit word called guna, means good qualities. And ru comes from the word ruchi, means collection. So it means heavy with good qualities, right? So that's a guru. Now, if you were to look at the Tibetan word, alternatively, that's another way of looking at it. Gu comes from the word guya, or hidden or secret. And ru comes from the word rupa, means body or form. So indicating qualities are hidden but exceed expectations. In the Tibetan, the guru is translated as lama. La means unsurpassable or sublime, high, noble, intellectual, okay, sublime, indicating the method side or the compassionate side or bodhicitta side. That's La. Ma stands for mother, which stands for the wisdom side, spiritual attainment side. So when you combine them, it exhibits the unified realization of both method and the wisdom aspects of Dharma. Okay? So very powerful word, Lama. The power of this life force finds expression as bodhicitta, the culmination of both love and compassion. And the guru has an ability to tame wild disciples so that they can live their lives meaningfully. Whether guru manifests as a teacher of the Dharma or in a form of an ordinary being, the guru always serves to reveal to us our minds, our best and worst inner natures, so we can grow in wisdom and compassion, and we surpass our limitations on the path of awakening. Okay? So it's simply up to us to open our minds to these manifestations of gurus in our lives. Okay. We have a few more minutes. We'll continue, and if in case I don't finish something, we'll catch up next time. Okay? Today we had a video for pretty long time. So choosing a spiritual guide. Here's something that Pabonka Rinpoche puts it very nicely. So just like I told you in brief, when you go into unknown territory or wilderness or hiking, we look for a guide, and we look for a qualified guide that's going to protect you, make you sure you're safe. Same way, we are talking about spiritual guide. Rely on a spiritual guide who is subdued, pacified, most pacified, who has more qualities than you, perseverance, a wealth of scripture, realizations into suchness, who is skilled teacher, has love, has given up disappointment in the disciples' performance. We'll go to this couple of these things, okay? But before we go, I just wanted to make a comment that do not rush out to find a teacher right away. They say examine the person thoroughly. At some point even said it can take up to 12 years. That's a generalization. But the idea is, you heard on the video that when you trust somebody so much and they're guiding you, they know your inner you, you want to create a really good relationship. You start to become like them. So make sure you investigate, okay, before you rush into a relationship with a teacher. So that's important, because you will become like that person. I guarantee you. And all these things are not to scare us away. Okay, it is simply there's a gravity in this relationship. It is really I don't know how to use this. It can be despairing if you break this kind of trust, and it can throw you off. So develop it nicely so it can help you. And remember, even if you took Lambrim, you saw you took the presenting the path. The very first thing they start Lambrim with is about needing a teacher and the qualities of a teacher, then the qualities of a disciple, then it gets into human rebirth. Right? So think about it. It's that important. If you look at the contents even of Lamrim, teacher is there, devotion to the teacher. Okay, so subdued. What does it mean by subdued? Means that this person's mind has been subdued with the practice of ethics, morality. He or she is an ethical person, one who embodies the practice of morality in his or her action and choices. That ethics are more than mere words. That's subdued. Pacified means that a mind is also pacified with single-pointed concentration. This means having some control and ability to focus and concentrate the mind. Okay? Most pacified refers to having a mind pacified by understanding of wisdom. You will get to the module 12 about emptiness, shunyata, and you will learn more about it, how reality is, how we see things conventionally, but how truly it exists. So we will learn more about it. So a teacher must have an understanding of that, deep understanding of it, and appreciation for that. This is a simple one, having more qualities than you. He's going to be your teacher. He better have more qualities than you. That's a given. Realization into suchness. Okay, that refers to, again, wisdom of emptiness, specifically to an accurate view of reality. Okay, and in our lineage teachings, you will learn when you get to module 12 that we follow Nagarjuna. The highest way of thinking for emptiness is called Prasangika, Madhyamika way. Don't worry about the words. It is simply the most advanced way. Dalai Lama or our lineage teachers follow Prasangika teachings. Must have perseverance, so doesn't give up easily. Knows a wealth of scripture. I'm so amazed when I hear Geshe-la. He says, chapter number 8, Shantideva. Okay, he pops it out of his head like that. When you do 26 years of this and teach for 20 years, you know your stuff. Okay, a skilled speaker, an articulate communicator. Right, you're going to keep the students interested. They may have questions or they may not understand it, so you need to be articulate. And has loving and kindness and open heart. Okay, willing to repeat, willing to sit down and laugh with you. And has given up disappointment. He does not get disappointed in students. Students sometimes takes 3-4 times, and they may ask the same questions, and they'll guide you. But they don't give up. So they has not given up or doesn't get disappointed. Any questions so far?
Anyone in the Kadampa here? We give you the microphone. Okay. Anyone online? Just unmute.
If not, then we'll go to meditation, and I'll just guarantee you that the last session will save a substantial amount of time for any questions or answers. We'll go through a lot of talk about how to see a teacher, how to devote to a teacher in mind, in action. So there will be more questions that come up, or they may answer some of your basic questions for right now. For today, I want to close with a meditation, and it is 8:08, so don't want to take it too long, right? So I appreciate everybody coming to class. So let's do a meditation, okay? So we'll do a meditation, and it's called Why We Need a Spiritual Teacher. This was made by Venerable Constance Miller. She's an FPMT teacher. Okay, so again, same as before, start just taking a minute or two to focus on your physical body, finding the most beneficial position with your spine straight, erect, and become present in the moment and the place where you are. And just to take a couple of deep breaths and just relax your mind. This is the motivation for our meditation. Create an altruistic motivation for the meditation session. Without a spiritual guide, there is no way at all to escape from the ocean of cyclic existence and thus to reach full enlightenment. A spiritual guide is the foundation of all paths to liberation from samsara and enlightenment. It is essential to achieving these states. So think that you are meditating not just for your own well-being or peace of mind or good reputation, but you are taking the time now to meditate and accumulate vast stores of merit to be able to find a qualified spiritual guide in order to reach a state of enlightenment, where you can get the most skillfully benefit all sentient beings. So contemplate the reasons why we need a spiritual guide. Step 1. First, think of the examples of how we need a teacher to learn almost everything in life. From the time we are born until we die. Use your own examples from your own life. Become convinced that teachers have been and will continue to be extremely important to us in order to learn new things in life. Now, think about the significant teachers that you had in your life, and think of the kindness they showed you and the benefits you gained from their efforts and good qualities. And generate a strong sense of appreciation and gratitude towards them for the kindness they have shown you. Now, think about a great importance of having a spiritual teacher to teach us what to practice and what to avoid, to lead us on the Dharma path, to lead us out of samsara, and to bring us to full enlightenment. We are entering a territory where we have never been before, and we definitely need a guide along the way. We need to rely on the guide who has experience, who has already gone before us along the Dharma path, and who knows more than we do. Become strongly convinced of the importance of a spiritual teacher, a highly qualified, admirable spiritual teacher in your Dharma life. And now contemplate the kind of spiritual teacher that you desire to find. Some of you may already have a teacher. Some of you are searching for one. Think specifically about the 10 general qualities of Mahayana spiritual guide. Now generate in your heart and mind an enthusiastic aspiration to find a qualified spiritual guide through opening your heart and through thorough scrutiny and checking. And feel the confidence and joy of finding such a precious spiritual friend to accompany and guide you on your spiritual path. Strongly contemplate. When you generate those strong feelings of joy and confidence, then stop your analytical, reflective meditation and let your mind rest single-pointedly without distraction within that state. Okay, you can bring your mind back to the class. Let's do dedication. Because of our merits, may I and all sentient beings find perfectly qualified spiritual guide in all our future lives. May we never be separated from a spiritual guide, nor the pure Dharma teachings. May all of our precious teachers have long and healthy lives, and may all their compassionate projects for sentient beings succeed perfectly without any obstacles. Oops. In the next class, we'll cover what are blessings. We'll have some analogies, some examples, qualities of a disciple, levels of spiritual teachers, and then we'll do a nice meditation. Okay, and that will be it for today. And I think should be around 8:15, 8:16. Yes, and that
Right.
Yes, that's perfect.
Okay. Thank you, Hemant.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks, everyone, for participating tonight. Back next week. And have a great time and safe time until then. Thank you.
Thanks, Hemant.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Bye. Bye, everybody.
Thank you, Hemant.
Bye-bye now. Have a great evening, guys. Enjoy. Think about some of these teachings today.
Hemant, would you like to get my phone number?
Oh, sure. If you don't mind. Oh, I'll give you mine if you want to text yours to me.
Okay, that's great.
Or if you tell me, I'll write it down right now, whatever you feel comfortable.
Okay. 919-524-6875.
6875. Okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.